The next thing we're going to look at is how to write a variable expression. But in order to do that, we first need to look at some common words and phrases that indicate different operations. So if I see certain words in, a phrase or a sentence, they're going to indicate either addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So let's do addition first. If you see the word plus, that's going to indicate addition. The sum of, remember, sum is the answer you get when you add numbers together. So the sum of indicates addition, as well as increased by, a total usually means you're adding things together, more than, and added to. Okay, for subtraction, we have minus, the difference of, remember, difference is the word you use for when you subtract two numbers, decreased by, fewer than, less than, or subtracted from. Okay, for multiplication, we have times, the product of, multiplied by, and also the word of, which we'll talk about more later. Of indicates multiplication. For division, we have divided by, divided into, or the quotient of. Quotient means divide. All right, so these are the phrases that are going to ultimately help us write variable expressions. So take a minute and write down this example problem. So it says you have a 350-page manuscript that needs to be edited quickly. You're going to divide the number of pages among several editors. You want to give the same number of pages to each editor. To be fair, use a verbal model to write a variable expression for the number of pages given to each editor if you know the number of editors. All right, so first we need to define which variable we're going to use. So if you look at the problem, we are ultimately looking for the number of pages given to each editor. And we know the number of editors. So this is a known amount. They don't actually tell us in the problem, but we're going to assume we know how many. So let's let E represent the number of editors. And then if you look at the paragraph, let's see, it says you're going to divide the number of pages among several editors. So this word divide is clearly going to mean use division. Okay, so let's first a verbal model means write an equation using words first so we can kind of figure out what's going on. So we can say the number of pages for each editor, which is what we're trying to figure out, equals the total number of pages divided by the number of editors. Now the reason for that is, okay, we've got our total amount of pages, our total number of pages right here, and we're going to split them up into however many editors we have. So each editor is getting the same amount. So we do know the total number of pages. They told us that in the problem. That was 350. Then remember we said we're going to assume we know how many editors we have, which we defined the number of editors as E. So ultimately, to get the number of pages for each editor to edit, we're going to take the total number, 350, divided by however many editors there are. So this right here, 350 divided by E, is our variable expression we're looking for. Now another way to represent division is by using a fraction bar, which actually is a good habit to get into. So we'll say 350 divided by E, or you could say 350 divided by E that way, using a fraction bar. They both mean the same thing. And we are done writing our variable expression.